Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to
Happy New Year,
everyone.
guys.
This is going to be a fantastic year, a transformative year. We need to kill it in 2024. And so I'm glad that you guys are here. We're going to go over what some of your goals might be. If you have pen and paper, I want us to write down our goals so that we start this year off strong. I'll go over my goals as well as we go over. There's a sort of a goal chart called a SMART goal, SMART, SMART. And so I want to go through that quick exercise with you guys tonight. But first, I want to make sure we answer any questions that you guys may have. So Keith, you want to go ahead and get started with some questions?
Yep, I will. Happy New Year's, guys. And I also echo Greg. I hope that you guys have a healthy and prosperous New Year. I think one thing that we can say also is if we go into this new year doing the same things with kind of the same habits, we're going to probably get the same results. So now would be a good time for us to just kind of look at where we want to be at by Christmas time of next year. What goals do we have? What help do we need so that we can start out this first quarter with results? Anyhow, Greg, this first question, set of questions comes from Yvette Love. Hey, Yvette, if you're out there, good to hear from you. So, Greg, is it possible to acquire a property from someone who has passed away before it goes to probate if the probate still has a mortgage?
Yes, absolutely. So you can absolutely buy the property. The easiest way to do it is if your name was also on the title, and if someone passes away, then the property goes over to you. Depends on if the property is titled tenants in common or joint tenancy. If it's joint tenancy, so it's right of survivorship, whoever is a surviving partner gets 100% of the house. Or if it's tenants in common, the person who passed, their half of the property goes to one of their heirs. But can you buy a property? Absolutely. Now, the question is, can you buy the property without going through probate and your house, even though your name might be in the will or your I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, so Yvette, you can definitely buy a property if someone dies. And so you would have to go through probate though if the person that dies, if your name wasn't on the title, then yes, you do have to go through probate. Definitely have to go through probate. But probate doesn't have to necessarily take a long time. You just got to get through the paperwork. And then once the personal representative is appointed, which can take 2 or 3 weeks, then they can sell the property. In most cases, they can sell the property. So it only takes 2 or 3 weeks. But don't go under contract with the personal representative until they've been appointed to be the personal representative. And then any other questions about that, just give me a call.
So here, Greg, here's a related question. Is it possible to acquire a property from someone who may have to go to a nursing home, but has not yet entered the nursing home? The house still has a mortgage. If the answer is yes, could you explain that process?
So if the question is, can you buy a property from someone who's going into a nursing home or nursing center? Yeah, absolutely. And you absolutely want to, because depending on your finances, the nursing home is going to want to sell the property and take the proceeds and pay for your stay. And so what most people do is they either sell the property before they go to the nursing home, or put someone else's name on the deed, or transfer the deed into like a trust or an estate or a trust. That's what most people do, because and then if they do that, now the state, in most cases, the state will pay for their stay if they don't have, if they're like insolvent, they don't have the money to pay for their stay at the nursing home. And so what the nursing home does is they look for any assets that you may have, and they'll try to sell them off to pay for your stay there. And so they would want to sell the property before they go into the nursing home, or at the very least, put the property in somebody else's name. Like either do a quitclaim deed or add someone's name to the property, or put the property into some type of land trust.
Those are good questions to start out the new year with. I think that I was just going to say, I mean, many of us are going to know of someone in that similar situation. So thank you for that, Yvette.
So it's really about estate planning. And so we all need to go through it. I mean, honestly, we're going through it now with our father. So it's about estate planning and preparing. And I do see, just being a real estate investors, a lot of people aren't prepared. So some people are, they're just not prepared. They're not doing the right thing. And they're not transferring the deed over like they should. They're not putting properties in trust. And also what I see a lot is, I mean, it's good for us as investors, is a lot of people just selling their houses when the parents get older, either before they die or as soon as they pass away, to sell the property. And then that just knocks out the generational wealth. And so home ownership starts the process of building generational wealth, but it gets almost stolen when the children or whoever the heirs are sell the properties. But we do have to prepare for the inevitable. And so we've got to get our house in order. And so we've got to have wills. We've got to have living wills, just in case something happens to us. Someone has, and people got to make decisions about our health. So like I forget what it's called, like medical directives, I think it's called, to make those type of decisions for us, but our wishes, and putting things in trust. And so I've been studying about trust lately, so that if something was to happen to me, everything will be in order in the way that I want them to be in order, and no one's making decisions for me. And so, our father's, he's 83 now? He's 83 years old. Yep. And so we've gone through that process and continuing to go through that process. But because of all that, there are opportunities for us as investors to buy these properties. There's a large percentage of the properties that I've bought over the last 20, 30 years that have been estate homes. People have gone through probate, houses getting ready to go to probate, all the above. So it's a big market out here for us as investors. Any other questions?
Not that I have, Greg.
All right, you guys have any questions for us? I do want to go through goals and kind of setting the table for 2024. And we're going to have a meeting, a lunch and learn on this Friday. in Greenbelt, and we're going to go over just preparing for this year. And I'll give you an update on what I think the market's going to look like, and some of the goals that I have, and some of the things that I'm looking at. So some of you guys know I've been looking at midterm rentals. I've been getting really close to buying my first one. I just got into it about a month or so ago. I've had a lot of success talking to owners, and I want to do a lot of creative financing. Just put a 4-unit building in Brookland under contract this weekend. It's a 4-unit. Right now, it's 2 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. And the lady wanted a price. I pitched her, and she was motivated. I pitched her some creative financing strategies, what I call the hybrid, where I take over her mortgage. And she's got a mortgage of $600,000. Take that over. Her interest rate is 3.9%, and her payment is $3,300. And so 1.5 units pays the mortgage, and then there's equity, and so she's got $250,000 in equity, which, if you guys are keeping up with that scenario, means I'm buying the 4-unit in Brookland for $850,000. And so $250,000 is her equity. I'm getting her to take a note for that. And so I'll be paying her on the equity and taking over the $600,000 note, buying the property subject to that existing mortgage. And so I'll be doing a lot more of those. I'm actually looking at land. Someone told me Friday that they had 5 acres in Brandywine. And normally when people pitch stuff like that to me, I say to myself, oh, that's not in my, what we call our buy box. That's not in my buy box. That's not what I'm interested in. That's not what I'm focused. But something over the weekend said, give her a call. So I called her today and talked to her about it. She owns the property. I think she owns it free and clear. And it just dawned on me that I was studying residential assisted living facilities probably about a year or so ago. And this would be perfect for something like that. It'd be a major project. You'd have to, there's trees on the land, so it'd have to clear the trees. It is already zoned residential. And then she already showed me the plans that she's not going to follow through with, where you can build 10 homes on that 5 acres, quarter-acre lots. So there's something I might do, maybe buy the property. My plan is to buy the property and let her be the bank, so do seller financing. And then while I'm doing all my due diligence, just be paying off the land. And so eventually have that land paid off through a few, just do money of my own or some wholesale deals, and then go about either partnering and that's something else I want to do a lot this year, partnering or just I'm doing the research and just building these out, sort of as a, what do I call it? Sort of as a sort of ending to my career, building these out and putting assisted living facilities there, just having like a small complex.
Are you also interested, Greg, in running the business, or just primarily being the landlord? And
so that's a good question. Yeah. So what I plan on if this works out, this is all like, none of this has worked. I haven't made her an offer yet or anything, but she is desperate to sell. Desperate is probably too strong of a word, but she wants to sell because she's already purchased a property in Florida, a retirement home for her and her husband. But yeah, I'll say that I want to do both. I don't want to just be a landlord. I want to do both, because the true money is in doing both. And so, as an example, on average in our area, you can get around $4,000, between $4,000 and $5,000 a room, and probably that's for a single room. A shared room, you can probably get about $3,000. So 2 people in a room is $6,000. And so you can just do the math. If you got a 10-bed unit or facility, you can make upwards of $50,000 or $40,000 a month. Half of that, will go to expenses. And so the rest is profit. But if you multiply that by, say, 10, you're making a lot of money. And it's great cash flow. So I would want to hire people, hire a manager, hire an operator to do that, so I can partake in not just getting the rent money, but also in the business. And those assisted living facilities, lots of people buy those. They buy those, but I would want to use those as passive income. And so the question for everybody on here is, what are your goals? What are some of the things that you look forward to doing in this coming year? I'd like to do some bigger projects. I'd like to partner with more people to do more bigger projects. People like you guys on here. I'd like to seek out more private lenders to lend, to not only partner with someone and give them equity, meaning giving them a piece of the deal, but also take on debt. So someone just lending money and paying them like 10% interest on their money, and so that's taking on debt. So those are some of the things that I would like to do. What are you guys looking for? And so let's just go through this SMART goal exercise. And so when we talk about SMART, we talk about being specific with our goals. So the S is specific. Be specific. What are your goals? Who can help you with those goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Be real specific about that. And so I kind of already laid out what some of my goals are. I'd like to buy, or at least control. I've got my goals actually written out. Let me just get some real quick while you guys think about yours. I may not be able to get to them quickly. Let's see. I wrote these out about 30 days ago. Yeah, I can't get, they're in here, but I can't get to them too quickly. Or maybe they're right here. Anyway, I'd like to increase my passive income, you guys. As a goal this year, my passive income through real estate by $20,000 a month. That's one goal of mine. And the question is, how am I going to get that? And the answer is, for me, it's buying or controlling probably at least 5 or 6 midterm rentals. And so I'm like really wanting to do that. I'm excited about that. I've been learning about midterm rentals. We've been going up to Baltimore. We've been getting some really, really good bites. And I'd like to increase my passive income by $20,000 through my real estate passive income. And then what are my measurables? Or does anybody, we got almost 20 people on the call. Anybody want to share what their goal is and just be specific about what their goal is? Anybody want to put what their goal is in the comment section? Anybody?
Greg, I'll kick this off by dismissing some of my own goals. Obviously, with my purchase a year ago, I want to continue on and get some wholesale deals so I can rehab the house and then get it reappraised, get it refinanced, and on and on. But I would like to hold on to at least one. I got to get one more property under my belt this year, and then I'm interested in the rental side also, to maybe own 2 to 3 rental properties where I'm getting that cash flow coming in.
Okay. Yeah, I think that everybody's goal should be at least one property and getting the cash flow from that. The reason why I like midterm rentals, the reason why I've always liked residential assisted living facilities is because you're forcing cash flow. You're 2xing or 3xing your cash flow, as opposed to just doing market rate tenants or Section 8, which are good programs. Nothing wrong with that. I have those now. With the midterm rentals, because they're shorter term, you can get 2 times or 3 times more money, more cash flow per month. And you're getting better tenants. You're getting professional tenants because, especially in Baltimore, you're renting out to nurses or medical professionals. And so I'd like to get more involved with that. Looking for my goals. What do I do with them? And so we can force our cash flow by using different programs. I know Dana's on here. He does the veterans program, and we do have people doing short-term rentals like Airbnb to force cash flow to get 2x or 3x their cash flow. And so that's what I'm more so interested in. I've been renting out market rate tenants in Section 8 like my whole career, like investing for over 30 years. But I want to do more. I want to get 2 more. I was on a path of almost $100,000 in passive income, as long as like around the time we had the recession, and I sold off a lot of my property. So I want to get back up there to 6 figures a month, just in real estate passive income. And so for that, and so those are my goals. And so I need to be more measurable. And so these goals are defined with precise times and amounts and number of units. And so Keith, you talked about having one property this year?
At least one, yeah.
Okay. And so what are some of the other measurables? Do you have any idea like how much money you're going to need?
I'd say for the rehab of my house, probably about 60, something like that.
Okay.
And then, just for the properties that I want to have maybe as a corporate rental, I like to have about 2 of them. I like to have 2 of them by July, to be honest with you.
Okay, so that's a good measurable. So 2 by July, that's a good measurable. Okay. The A in SMART, we're going over the SMART goals. The A in SMART is attainable. And so do you think that goal of yours is attainable? Is it too high, too low? Can you do more? You think it's like attainable?
I think it's attainable. I think
okay.
It is.
Yeah, I think mine is more than attainable. I could probably, if I could focus just on this, I've got, I'm running a brokerage and things like that. And we've got our own goals with that. But I think my goal of an extra $20,000 a month added to what I have is definitely attainable. The goal that you have, the R in SMART, is relevant. Is the goal you have, is it relevant to your lifestyle, what you want in life, your exit strategy? how you're going to get to retirement. Is it relevant?
Yes, mine is. Yep.
Okay. And then the T is time bound. Like you need to start setting deadlines and knowing when you're going to do it and when you're going to finish what those goals are.
So I'm not exactly sure of the finish, but I know that as far as time, that needs to start like now. It needs to start. I need to start acquiring these things. I want to get to a point that even, I'm 62 now. So by the time I'm, 67, 68, I'm kind of retired. I'm putting them in quotes, but I'm still just managing my properties, which I don't really consider if I have it set up right. And learning from everything that you taught me through the years, I get someone to manage it. I'm not really working that hard, but I'm just, I go to the gym one day and when I'm on that side of town, I check out my 3 or 4 properties. The next day I go on the other side of town and do the same thing.
Right. Okay. And so we do have to, so if those are your goals, then we've got to get started now. And I do believe that if you guys want to Google SMART goals, you can Google SMART goals, SMART. That's kind of what I've looked at, the SMART goals, and just kind of actually Google SMART goals PDF. And I just printed out one of the PDFs and just kind of wrote on it what my goals were for this year. And for every business that I have, including my my rental portfolio, and so with that, I'm trying to increase that by $20,000 in passive income. My ultimate goal for me, and I say it's my ultimate goal, is 6 figures a month, or into the 6 figures in passive income. And so what passive income really means is that you've got money coming in without you really having not much to do to keep it coming in. And so you buy a property as an example and you rent it out. You could have a property manager manage that property and manage every aspect and maybe meet with the property manager maybe once a month or once a quarter. That's true passive income. Passive income is not buying a property and renting it out and you're working in that property, every month. That's not passive. You're still working to get that money. It's almost active income. Passive means you completely stepped away and, and let other people manage those properties or that business for you. Now you're still in kind of semi-retirement because you're checking in with them. If you're not checking in with them every day, every week, not even every month, really, or maybe once a month, that's passive. That's true passive income where you could take a 60, 90-day, vacation and you still have that business going or that passive income coming in and you can do it. And so when I think about possibly doing some assisted living facilities, my main thought is who's the team? Who are the people that can help me run? So your first question was very relevant. Do I want just the facility and rent it out? Or do I want the business too and rent it out to, someone that does assisted living facility, who are operators? I want to own the real estate and be the operator. Now, when I say I want to be the operator, I'm going to hire someone to be the operator and maybe give them bonuses and things, but I'm not going to give them any equity in the venture. But I'll give them bonuses, raises, whatever, to run that business for me, and so it will be very passive for me. And so that's what we want, you guys, in retirement. That's what we want for our lives. We want to get up to whatever that number is for you. For me, it's always been um, 6 figures a month, where I'm off to doing whatever I want to do. And I can still make that 6 figures a month, even though I'm paying someone to manage my properties, possibly continue to manage the business, the businesses like the brokerage. That's true passive income. And then so you set your goal according to what your lifestyle. And I actually had a heart to heart with myself about 3 or 4 days ago, and I said to myself, I asked myself, do I truly need? And somebody asked me this, Brad Chandler. You know Brad Chandler from Express Home Buyers. He asked me, he said, do you truly need that much money? I said, no. And so you really have to ask yourself, I want it because I know it's attainable. It's always just been a goal of mine. But you truly have to ask yourself, how much money do you need? Knowing that, with inflation and the type of lifestyle that you want to live, how much money is it? I was actually thinking I might be able to live off of $20,000 a month. Like I might be like closer to retirement, just getting the right management, because I've got that now passively. Could I live off of that? And the answer was yes, absolutely. And so you got to figure out what it is for you, and then plan accordingly, and then plan starting now for 2024, and let real estate lead the way. And use some of these passive income strategies where we're what I call forcing cash flow, so that you can live your best life faster. And so, you guys, I bought this book. I actually bought this book right here, 30 Day Stay. And which hand am I moving? 30 Day Stay. Dana, you should get this book. I bought this book about a week or so ago, and I bought the audio, and I'm through with it. And it talks about midterm rentals. Dana, you're asking the question about insurance companies, and I'll answer that for you. But all of that, the insurance, are right here in this 30-day stay. It talks about the difference between short-term rentals, midterm rentals, and long-term rentals. Most of us come up accustomed to doing long-term rentals, but the shorter the stay, the more money you make. The problem with short-term rentals now is it's just so regulated that you can only, with short-term rentals like Airbnb, depending on the jurisdiction, you can maybe only do 50 days a year, 180 days, a whole year. Midterm rentals, there's no regulations. They look at it in the same vein as long-term rentals. But like I said, you're getting better clientele. You're getting, it's just a lot better, more money.
In many cases, you're getting your monies up front too, right, Greg?
Yeah, you get paid up front. And so if you're renting out, example, to a medical professional, they're paying you up front. They normally get a 13-week assignment. You get that money up front. And then I think about 50% of the time they extend another 13 weeks. And so that's like 6 months, you guys, of 2 times or 3 times your rent. And then if you plan it correctly, as they're moving out, somebody else is moving in. You go to sites like Facebook Marketplace, furnishfinders.com. And if you know someone's going to be leaving in 30 days, you start marketing your property then, because they're looking 30 days ahead of time as well once they get their assignments. But this has been the best book that I could find on midterm rentals, 30-day stay. All right, I need help closing a deal. And so just call me. DM me. Let me put my, if you don't have my phone number, let me put my IG on here. Yeah, just Greg Bennett Invest. If you don't have my phone number, you can just go there to DM me, and I'm happy to help you close the deal. And then the insurance, just in general, but Dana, call me. What is it? 88% of what was it?
You said
every 88 seconds, house catches on fire. And so the insurance relocators need to relocate the homeowner to housing. It's in your insurance policy. And so they need houses. And so there's different sites that you can put your house on. Again, just like, it's another form of midterm rentals. There's different sites. I think ALE Solutions is the best site, alesolutions.com. And then you also reach out to, a lot of the insurance relocators to let them know that if they're looking for a property in a certain area, to call you. And it's as easy as that. And so what a lot of times, if they don't have a property, the relocators, they'll just go to the MLS and find a property. And so I told this story a couple of weeks ago of I had a property I completely gutted and renovated in Petworth some years ago. And I had it on the market for sale and for rent. A relocator called me and said, I've got a client, house caught on fire. House caught on fire. We'd love to rent your house because it was brand new, completely renovated. And I said, sure. In 6 months, they paid me 3 times my rent. And they ended up staying for 2 years. Took that long for the contractors. They thought it was 6 months, but it took 2 years. And so you can really get some, as an investor, really good rent. All right. But Dana, you can contact me. I know you probably have some more questions. Let's see. I do have a follow-up question regarding your response. Are you saying that the deed can be transferred even if there's an existing mortgage? Yes. So that's an example of what I talked about, subject to buying a property subject to the existing mortgage. And so the deed can be transferred, and a new owner, let's say you're the new owner, you take over that property and you pay the mortgage. Now there's some complications to that, which Yvette, give me a call tomorrow and I'll go over that. But what you're asking is what we call, and you can look it up, subject to, or sub to meaning TO. So subject to, and so you'll be buying a property subject to the existing mortgage. And so the scenario that I gave you for the 4-unit building is a subject to. I'm taking over that mortgage. I'm paying that mortgage. Now the mortgage company doesn't know, but I'm paying it. But there's solutions, you guys, if they do know. And that's a whole nother topic, but there's easy solutions for that. And so the answer to your question is yes. But Yvette, call me tomorrow and I'll go into detail with you. But we're buying property subject to the existing mortgage all day long. And we want to do that because, like in my case, the interest rate was 3.9%. Now, where am I going to get an interest rate in today's market for a 4-unit building at 3.9%? And so when she told me that, I was like, okay. Like I knew right away, like I'm not getting financing. I'm totally going to buy this property and leave that mortgage on the property. And they don't always let you, but she let me in this case. And then the balance of what she owed and what we agreed to on the sales price, you could either come up with all that money or ask them to be the bank and do seller financing. Now you're making 2 payments. I'll be making a payment to the mortgage company and a payment to her, the owner of the 4 unit. And so that's what I'm excited about teaching you guys this year on how to buy properties using little to none of your own money, using creative financing strategies. And then learning how to put those deals together. And if you don't have the wherewithal to purchase the properties, you wholesale those opportunities to someone else. And so I'm really excited about that this year. And I'll help you guys put those deals together. And so definitely call me, Yvette, tomorrow. All right. Anything else, Keith, that we missed? Any questions that you guys have?
No, I'm just excited about the learnings that we'll get and just really making a difference in our portfolio this year, or creating. Many of us, maybe quite a few on the line, are thinking like me, and they know that they just need to grow out their portfolio. And so I think with the creative financing that you're offering, I think it's just going to really open up the floodgates for us getting deals.
Another thing this year, you guys, we're going to be proactive. We're going to do more trainings. So this month alone, I think we've got lunch and learn planned for, I think, this Friday. We've got something else at the end of this month on a Saturday. We've got like a happy hour networking session. I think it's next week. At the Crown Plaza, just for investors. And then we've got numerous Zoom meetings. And so it's going to give you guys an opportunity to network with each other and learn. And so what you've got to do is just show up. Show up to the lunch and learns. Show up to the virtual meetings, the Q&As like this one. Ask your questions. No dumb questions. These questions will really get you where you want to go, wherever that is. If I give you any advice, Keith, we'll have a panel on Friday. Just take heed. Just do it. Like we've experienced where you guys want to go. If I say you're interested in midterm rentals, get this book. Go get the book and read it. As a matter of fact, the way I found out about this book is I follow this lady on Instagram. This lady named Sarah Weaver. And I found her on Instagram. I saw a YouTube video. I started following her. And she said she wrote this book. Somebody else said, I've got 80 midterm rentals that I control. She got them. Some of them she owns. Some of them are what we call rental arbitrage. She's leasing them and then subletting them out to medical professionals. She said, I learned everything from reading Sarah Weaver's book. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get Sarah Weaver's book. And this is Sarah Weaver's book. I said, she got it. So, and I already follow Sarah. I'm going to get it. And I got it about a week ago and just like read it really quickly. And then I paid another, I don't know how much, maybe $10, $12 to get the what's it called? The audio book. So I could listen to it again, while I'm at the gym. And I've got a great idea on what I want to do with midterm. I mean, I understand it thoroughly now. But if someone says read a book, I mean, that's what I've done all my life. If someone says read this, I just go read it. And that's another one of my goals is to read at least one book a month this year. That's one of my goals. And to round out my goals, if you guys are being nosy, I'm cutting back on my sugar intake this year. So at least for the first 90 days, no sugar. And so Dana, you need to do that too. First 90 days, Dana, no sugar. We'll see if you do that, Dana. Dana Lewis, no sugar. And anybody else that wants to follow me. Those are like my New Year's resolutions. So now you guys know all about me. There you go, Dana. No sugar. All right. So that's all. But look, you guys, let's have a big year. Let's lean on each other. Let's network with each other. We're going to look at Alice. Look, no sugar for you too, Alice. No sugar. Actually, I think I owe you a call, Alice. Anyway, let's have a big year. Set your goals, write them down. Get this PDF, Google Smart Goals PDF, and just get this chart and print it out. And take some time tonight. What time is it? Yeah, you got time. Take some time tonight and write them down. One thing I want to mention to you guys is a lot of income that you guys can get. You don't necessarily have to buy the properties. There's this term called rental arbitrage, where our coaching students know that term, or what I call a master lease or corporate lease. You don't have to buy the property. You can actually lease the properties and then sublet them out to, actually you can sublet them out to residential assisted living facility, as an assisted living facility, as a midterm rental. A lot of people in that space, they do rental arbitrage where they never ever own the property, but they're making like $2,000 or $3,000 a month in passive income on a particular property that they've never bought. I used to hear about people owning 100 timeshares, and then I would read further. They don't own any of them, but they're making $40,000-$50,000 a month in passive income, and they never put up large lump sums of money or anything. They just lease them out, and then put in the lease the ability to sublet. And you're transparent with the owner. They know. But what do they care? As long as they're getting their rent, they don't care. And so Greg, we need to do those.
Areas like what you just discussed, are they in that book as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But areas across the country and sites that you can go to, websites that will tell you the best site, the best areas to go to do midterm rentals. Now, just to let you know, though, urban cities is the best place. Urban cities with lower, so it's urban cities, but for me, urban cities with a lower cost of living is better. So for us, Baltimore is right here, but then an urban city with a low cost of living is Richmond, is great. Pittsburgh is great. Philadelphia is great, just around here. But the book goes over all that. So yeah, it goes over all of that in the book. Toby is saying, what deals are you looking for wholesalers to find? And so Toby, I think the midterm rentals that we've looked at, I mean, Alice and I were on a call, I think it was Friday, but it just didn't work out. I think you had looked at that house that Alice and I called on, but we're getting close. Like we should, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 that we find we should be able to close. And so I would stick, if I was you, Toby, since we've already started it. If we can talk to about, I would say 15 homeowners that fit the model of a midterm rental, I would say a B neighborhood in Baltimore. I would say if we can get the rent at, let's just say $2,500 a month or less, I would say, or that's already rented, so you can get that off the MLS. My preference would be at least 3 bedrooms and at least 3 bathrooms, but it could be at least 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. because you're better off having the medical professional have their own bathroom, but if they share, just share with one other person. And parking is important. 3 to 4 miles, I'll say, no more than 5 miles from a hospital would be great, or no more than like a 20-minute drive to a hospital. And what makes Baltimore and all the other areas so wonderful is they have at least 10 hospitals. So Baltimore has at least 10 hospitals. Actually, I guess so. Oh, here are the areas, you guys. I actually wrote it down. I wrote them down. So Baltimore has 16 hospitals. DC has 12. Richmond has 13 hospitals. Philly has 19 hospitals, and the cost of living is real low there in Philadelphia. So you can buy houses really, really cheap. Pittsburgh, the cost of living is really low. You can buy houses like just as cheap or cheaper than Baltimore, and it's got 14 hospitals there. So a lot of medical professionals coming in and out. I wrote down Charleston, West Virginia. It's got 13. And Keith, believe it or not, Columbia, South Carolina,
How many?
17 hospitals.
Wow.
So those are all great areas, you guys, where you can still buy the real estate at an inexpensive price and then rent. And then so your mortgage is going to be cheaper, but then you're going to be charging $1,000, $1,500, sometimes $2,000 per room for the nurse or the medical professional. And so I would choose those areas. Now, DC has 13 hospitals, but the difference in DC, and if you can get a good deal in DC, but in DC, you're spending probably 2 or 3 or 4 times more money than you would like in Baltimore. So the cash flow is not going to be that great. But if you're looking to either get equity, because you're going to get better appreciation in DC, or have a mixture of both, more cash flow in Baltimore, equity and appreciation in DC, then if you're interested in midterm rentals, then you could have a couple here, a couple there. Some of you guys may be interested in multifamily. If you are interested in multifamily, especially like in Baltimore, I would say midterm rentals even work better for multifamily, because now you're just buying that one unit. Let's just say it has 4. You can have all 4 of them as midterm rentals, depending on where it's located. 1 or 2 of the units as a short-term rental, like an Airbnb, because you can mix it, or 1 or 2 as a long-term rental where you've got like a Section 8. But I've kind of, in my mind, just kind of gravitated or graduated to more professionals renting my properties. I've gone through and still going through, I would say, non-professionals in my properties, and it's a headache. I could tell you stories. It's a headache. Keith, we always say 30 minutes, and we always end up an hour.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, you guys? I would love to meet with you guys one-on-one, either in person or a Zoom call. Those of you that are close, I'll be in the office all day tomorrow if you want to stop through. But let's make this year your best year. Some of you guys need money. I think some of you guys have what I call limiting beliefs. Like you believe that you've got to have a whole bunch of cash in order to buy a property. Or you believe that you've got to have perfect credit. And so the 4 unit that I told you guys about in Brookland, no one's checking my credit. No one's ever checked my credit on a creative financing deal. If I don't want the property, I know how to put it together. I'll just wholesale. And so there's lots of things you guys can do. Just bring those deals. Someone said they're having problems with the deal, then bring those deals to me. I'm happy to help you. Like I want my success to be your success. I think I said that right. Or your success is my success. But I want to help you. So let's help each other this year, you guys. Let's make this year our best year ever. We have to. Especially for my real estate agents, 2023 was, for some, devastating. For others, just kind of survival, just survive, just got through the year. But now 2024 is a year for us to thrive. It's a year for us to dominate. And so you've got to dominate, but you cannot do it on your own. You've got to get help. And so start coming out to a lot of things that we're doing, ask a ton of questions. If I say I'm happy to meet with you guys one-on-one, then I'm reaching out. All you got to do is raise your hand. I see Toby's already texting me. Let me see what Toby is saying. Let me see what he's saying. Let's see. Oh, he's talking about a deal. Okay. I'll call Toby in a minute. All right, you guys. No sugar this year. Get this SMART goal PDF, the printout, so that you can write on. You can't just think about what your goal is. You got to write it down. You own it when you write it down. Even if you write it down and never look at it again, it's locked in your brain now because you thought about it and then you saw yourself put it in on paper, put it in words. Now you can recite it without even looking at it. It's better for you to put it in a place where you can see it, though. All right, you guys, take care. God bless. Anything else, Keith?
No. Once again, Happy New Year's, guys. Let's go.
All right. Take care, you guys. Good night.